Hey guys, in today's video, I'll be showcasing Dragapult EX from the Twilight Masquerade expansion set. It's definitely still up for debate which deck is the best in the format, but Dragapult EX seems to be making its way up there for sure. I've seen so many varying builds out there and it was really hard for me to decide which one was the right fit for me, but I think I finally found the right one. Dragapult EX is a stage 2 dragon type Pokemon, and it is also a Terra type. As long as this Pokemon is on your bench, you prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks, both yours and your opponent's. And since it is a dragon type, it has no weakness or resistance. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Jet Headbutt. For 1 colorless energy, it deals 70 damage, and its second attack is what makes this Pokemon quite strong. For 1 fire and 1 psychic energy, Phantom Dive deals 200 damage, and you also put 6 damage counters on your opponent's bench Pokemon in any way you like. These damage counter spread can easily take out lower HP Pokemon because even high HP stage 2 EX Pokemon have to start from their low HP basic stage. So if you can take them out early on in the game, you may just prevent your opponent from ever setting up. Just keep in mind, in the current format, there are a few ways the damage counters can be avoided or nullified. For example, if your opponent uses Rapska, Toedscruel EX, or Mist Energy, because all of those cards prevent effects of attacks. And the only downside to Dragapult EX's Phantom Dive attack is that it requires 2 different types of energies. Thankfully, we have a few draw options in this build to help us find just the right cards we need. The most notable is with the help of Dragapult EX's pre-evolution Dracloak. It has the ability Recon Directive, which lets you look at the top 2 cards of your deck, add 1 to your hand, and the other card you put on the bottom of your deck. This is basically the new version of the old Pidgeotto. This comes in clutch in so many games, helping you to find the cards you need when you need it. And then XATU can definitely help energize Dragapult EX's attack thanks to its ability Clairvoyant Sense, which allows you to attach 1 psychic energy from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon, and when you do, you also get to draw 2 cards. So with this, you can accelerate the psychic energy, and then you can just attach for turn for the fire energy onto Dragapult EX so that you can start attacking. Spreading damage and taking multiple knockouts is the main selling point for Dragapult EX, which is why we also have Radiant Alakazam with the Painful Spoons ability. Once during your turn, you may move up to 2 damage counters to one of your opponent's Pokemon to another one of their Pokemon. This is a great way to move damage counters around your opponent's Pokemon so that you don't miss out on any potential and relevant knockouts. As for consistency, we also have Rotom V to help you draw cards early game thanks to its instant charge ability. While it ends your turn, you can draw 3 cards. But this is also useful to have since we can attach the Forest Seal Stone onto it. This tool card allows our V Pokemon to use the V-Star Power ability, Star Alchemy, which lets you search your deck for any one card. This card is so good that it can help you get a perfect setup for your turn. And one of the reasons I was actually drawn to this build is because it uses the reprinted Scoop Up Cyclone. You can only have 1 Spec card in your deck, but this one is so good because it lets you put one of your Pokemon and all attached cards into your hand. This is so good at removing one of your heavily damaged Dragapult EX so that you can prevent your opponent from taking 2 prizes from knocking it out. But also you can use Celine to recover your Scoop Up Cyclone from your discard pile and keep reusing it, which is awesome. With this card, you flip 2 coins, and for each heads, you put a card from your discard pile on top of your deck in any order. And another reason I like this deck is because it also uses lands. You can search your deck for up to 3 dragon Pokemon, reveal them, and put them into your hand. He's just awesome to have in this deck, being one of the original Elite 4 trainers, the Dragon Trainer you face off in the very first video game. As for the other cards worth noting, make sure you utilize Technical Machine Evolution. This lets you use the evolution attack. For 1 colorless energy, you choose 2 of your bench Pokemon, and then you can search your deck for its evolution card to evolve it. This is very useful early game to evolve into your Dracloaks right away. Next is Defiance Band, which is good at increasing Dragapult EX's attack up to 230 damage, which could potentially help you knock out basic EX or V Pokemon. And finally, Rescue Board tool card is good for decreasing the retreat cost of your Pokemon by 1 colorless energy. And if that Pokemon has 30 HP or less remaining, it has no retreat cost. This Dragapult EX build is so consistent in my opinion, and the fact that you can give your opponent a hard time to knock out even one of your Dragapult is so good. Because there are so many variations of Dragapult EX, I think you just have to find the one that you're most comfortable piloting. But yeah, Dragapult EX is really good. Anyways, that's pretty much it. You can find the complete deck list in the description below, and now please enjoy the following gameplay videos showcasing Dragapult EX. Before we get into the video, I have a small request. If you're liking the content I create, please leave a like to this video, and please support this channel by subscribing if you haven't already. This is a small click for you, but for me, it means a lot. Thank you so much for all of your support. Alright, on to our first match, and it looks like we have to mulligan here. And I did win the coin flip, and I do prefer going first with this build since we have a lot of Pokemon to evolve into, and my opponent will take one extra card. And we're gonna start with the Rotom V in the active spots. Ideally, you will want to set up as much of the basics, other basics on your bench so that you can evolve into your Pokemon the next turn. But with not much to go by, all we can do is use instant charge, draw 3, and end our turn. But we did get a Natu and a Buddy Poppin to use next turn. And it looks like we're going against Greninja EX. I did showcase that in this channel, a really strong card. Wonder if they're using Frostlass in this build as well, but they're just gonna end their turn with instant charge. Got Dragapult EX. Let's go ahead and set up our Dreepies. We need to set up Manaphy and its prize, so with Arven, I definitely will have to use this Hisuian Heavy Ball to grab it. And I could use TM Evolution this turn, but I'm gonna go with Forest Seal Stone. Get our Manaphy, protect our bench. Because if you didn't know, Greninja EX can hit multiple targets for 120 damage. They could gatekeep us and prevent us from setting up any of our Dreepies, so we'll need to use Manaphy to protect our bench. But with Rotom V, I was really in a dilemma to use Rescue Board to retreat it, but I'm gonna use Forest Seal Stone to get Fire Energy because we only have 3 in the deck. It's really hard to get it, so I'll just grab that and end my turn with instant charge. The downside to this is that I sacrificed Rotom V. My opponent only needs 1 Water Energy to power up their Greninja EX. If they have Rare Candy to evolve, they can attack and knock out our Rotom V. And again, Rotom V is weak against fighting, so they can just easily knock it out with a single hit. But at least we protected our bench. We got Rare Candy from that instant charge. I would have grabbed that with Arven, but it's good to have already. And one of our Dreepy is already energized. We can just attach the basic Psychic Energy. And even if they attack, we can have that initial attack with Dragapult EX to deal 200 damage to their Greninja EX. But for now, they did grab Rare Candy and they were able to evolve into their Pidgeot EX. That would have been an easy target to knock out their Pidgey, but there it is, another evolved Pokemon. Greninja EX is out and ready to attack. And they also have Forest Seal Stone available to them. And Rotom V is actually a good target for us. It has 190 HP. Dragapult EX can easily knock it out. So we have a bunch of targets that we can definitely knock out, gets our 6 prizes. But again, my opponent will be ahead in the prize trade here by knocking out our Rotom V. So my opponent will use their Forest Seal Stone and they will use Buddy Poppin to set up more Froakies. So I guess this is not a Frostlass combo. And they will knock out our Rotom V. That's gonna get them 2 prizes. And they also get to search their deck for 1 card. I'm probably gonna use Iono this turn since we already have Rare Candy. I could just disrupt their hand a little bit here. Let's go ahead and evolve into Dragapult EX first. Attach this Psychic Energy. Now we're fully powered up, ready to attack. I'm gonna use Nest Ball. I could set up Dreepy, but I'll go for Radiant Alakazam. I could transfer some damage from Greninja EX to Pidgeot EX, and then I'll use Rescue Board on Natu. That can be our pivot. And then I'm going to use Iono, disrupt their hand, and then we can draw into more cards. We got Scoop Up Net, and also be able to evolve into Dracloak. Alright. And set up another Dreepy. Alright, we're looking good. We're looking good. Now we can use Recon Directive. You look at the top 2 cards of your deck, grab one, and then put one in the bottom of your deck. So we got Celine, but for now, we're just gonna attack Greninja EX for 200, put 6 damage counters on their Pidgeot EX, and go from there. So even though my opponent was able to get 2 prizes from our Rotom V, again, we were able to get ahead in the damage exchange here because their Greninja EX cannot one-hit knock out our Dragapult EX, and we cannot one-hit knock out their Greninja EX either. But one advantage we have is Scoop Up Cyclone. What we could do If we have boss orders as well, we can use Radiant Alakazam, move some damage. Hey, we got fire energy from our top deck. That is insane. Let's go ahead and grab another card with Recon Directive. I could just get lands. Temple of Sinnoh is actually really good to prevent them from using their Mirage Barrage attack, because they most likely will use double turbo energy. But what I'm gonna do is just get Dracloak, and I guess I could grab 3. That's fine. I'll just grab these. Evolve into another Dracloak. Recon Directive. Boss's Orders is good too. Yeah, we can get their Pidgeot EX next turn. And then I'll sacrifice this. Discard... No. We'll need those. I'll discard these two. We can recover them. Get a XATU. So now we can fully energize another Dragapult EX lineup. Alright. Accelerate 1 energy. Psychic energy, draw 2. Now we have another Dragapult EX ready to go. Scoop up Cyclone, ready to go. This is crazy. Let's see. Let's go ahead and save our Dragapult EX. Set up Dreepy again. Painful Spoons, 2 energy or 2 damage counters from Greninja EX to their Pidgeot EX. We can Phantom Dive, knock out their Greninja EX, and then we can spread damage to... I guess I could spread it around here, guys. I'll put 3... I'll put 4 on their Frogadier. I think it'll make it easier for us to knock out their Greninja EX. And then we can take 2 prizes. Alright, very good. So, Greninja EX is really great. But the only thing is, it can be easily negated, the multiple target attack with Manaphy. So I think having Frostlass in the Greninja EX build is the best way to counter those Manaphy defenses. But they also have their Relor, which evolves into Rabsca, and that's gonna prevent our damage counters from affecting their benched Pokemon. So we have to take that out. Thankfully, it requires them 2 turns to set up their Rabsca, but unfortunately for them, we can attack with Dragapult EX and then just knock it out, prevent them from setting it up, and we're just gonna continue to spread damage. So if they had that, that should have been the first Pokemon they should have set up. But now Temple of Sinnoh is in effect. They cannot use double turbo energy. It will only count as 1 colorless, and they cannot take out multiple targets. Anyways, again, we have Manaphy to defend our bench, so we should be safe. Alright, well, let's go ahead and use Clairvoyant Sense to attach the Psychic Energy that we took back. And again, we can set up another Dragapult EX, and then we can keep recycling our Scoop Up Cyclone with Celine. But for now, I will just Boss's Orders their Pidgeot EX, prevent them from getting any more consistency, and just rechecking my prizes. And then I don't think I need to move any damage counters with Radiant Alakazam here, so I'm just gonna evolve and just manually retreat my Dragapult EX for now, because I already used up Boss's Orders, and we're just gonna Phantom Dive, knock out this Pidgeot EX, get 2 prizes, and then we're gonna take out their Relor as well. So we'll put 5 damage counters here, and then yeah, we'll put 1 on Greninja EX. So there it is, 3 prizes in a single attack. And that's what makes Dragapult EX really, really dangerous, because you can set up for knockouts in the next turns since you're slowly weakening their other Pokemon on their bench, which is pretty insane. For just 2 energies, that's 260 cumulative damage, which is pretty insane. And my opponent couldn't take it. There's the concession. Good game. Alright, moving on to our next match. We're gonna start this one with a Drapi to go into the active spots. Radiant Alakazam will be useful. My opponent will mulligan. Looks like we're going against some type of ancient type deck. And because of their mulligan, we get one extra card. We got a Nest Ball, and they're starting with a Screamtail in the active spot, and they are going first. Okay, they're gonna play Ultra Ball to get Radiant Greninja with the Concealed Cards ability. Discard one energy card from their hand, draw two, and they're just gonna end their turn. Alright. Let's see. We can use Nest Ball to get Rotom V. I can use Arven to get Buddy Buddy Poffin. And then for Sealstone, it's like the usual, you know, the usual pattern of events in our setup here. So a bunch of Drapies are available. We got our Forest Sealstone. Let's go ahead and use that up. And then I'll get basic energy to attach to my Drapi. Use instant charge to end my turn. And we got TM Evolution. I could even use that next turn, evolve into... Well, we already have a bunch of Dracloaks, right? We can evolve into Dracloaks next turn, and then maybe into Dragapult with the TM Evolution. If we need to stall a little bit more, especially we still have to find our Psychic Energies. For now, my opponent will use Explorer's Guidance. They basically discard a bunch of cards and then put two in their hands. So, oh, okay. Looks like we're going against Roaring Moon. So this single price build for a single price attacker is actually a really strong card. Alright, so they've used up their A-Spec card. Discard 3 from their hand. They can grab an item card, support card, stadium, and something else. I think a tool card. So pretty strong start. The Ancient Booster Energy Capsule can add HP to their Roaring Moon, but it still will be within knockout range of Dragapult EX, and then we can start spreading damage counters around. And I think we definitely have the advantage in this matchup. However, we are only taking one prize at a time, but taking multiple prizes will be our main priority because they hit pretty hard, and they'll be taking 2 prizes each time they knock out our Dragapult EX. For now, I'm going to evolve my active with into Dracloak, use Recon Directive, and I'll get a XATU. I probably need to set up my Natu as soon as possible here, but let's see what we can grab here. Earthen Vessel to get our Psychic Energies, and then evolve into another Dracloak. Let's go ahead and use Recon Directive first. Alright, we got Psychic Energy. And then with this Nest Ball, I think I'm just gonna grab another Drapi. We only have one copy of Natu in this build, so I'll grab that when I get the opportunity to get the Hisuian Heavy Ball. But for now, I'm just gonna instant charge end my turn. And yeah, we have time. My opponent still needs to set up a little bit more. And Roaring Moon depends on how many ancient type cards are in the discard pile to increase its attack. Although the more we stall, the higher its attack will be, but I doubt they can stack enough cards in their discard pile where it can one-hit knockout our Dragapult EX. Again, we have the advantage in this matchup since we do have Scoop Up Cyclone. We could definitely use that to our advantage. So now they were able to attach an energy to Screamtail, retreating it into their Scream or their Roaring Moon, and then they can attack now. And they're gonna use Dark Patch to accelerate those dark energies to their other Roaring Moon. Alright, so I feel pretty confident with this matchup. Again, against single price matchup, I feel like Dragapult EX does always have the advantage. Alright, so with Vengeance Fletching, they were able to knock out in the active spot. But with Dreepy, since we have Rare Candy, we can evolve into Dragapult EX, and we have the energy we need to attack. And then just gonna try and see if we can set up as much as we can. Recon Directive, I will get Manaphy. I don't think they have any Pokemon that can hit for bench damage. I could easily discard that for another card if I need to. I'll get Dragapult EX so it can evolve into another one next turn if needed. And I'm just gonna attack with Phantom Dive here, and then I'm gonna spread damage to their Radiant Greninja. I mean, Scream Tail, I could also put damage counters, so I'll just go ahead and put half and half. And the reason for that is because we can easily knock out their Roaring Moon. It's always going to be their attacker, so it's always going to be the one to get knocked out by Dragapult EX's attack. And the other two, they won't be using as much, so adding those damage counters, eventually we can knock one out and get multiple prizes in one turn. Yeah, so the Scream Tail is the one that for one colorless energy can heal for 100 HP to one of their benched Pokemon. So I guess it can add to the survivability of their Pokemon, but I don't know if that's very useful to this build since their Roaring Moon only can get up to 200 HP. And most Pokemon attackers now can deal so much damage that 200 HP is very minimal nowadays. But having Scream Tail in their build does add those ancient cards. However, its usefulness, I'm not too sure. I feel like Flutter Mane will be better in this build. But they will just attack, hit for 210 damage. Man, for a small Pokemon, it hits like a truck. But with Recon Directive, we got Celine. We can just continue to use Recon Directive. Got an Arven. And I could actually grab our Scoop Up Cyclone with Arven. And then since we already have another Dragapult EX, we can just scoop up our active and then set up our new attacker. And that's the only challenge with having the Hisuian Heavy Ball and also one of our Energy Accelerator prized, so this is quite bad. But I'm just gonna add all these damage counters to Radiant Greninja. We take another knockout. Alright, we got Hisuian Heavy Ball. Finally, we can grab that Natu from the rest of our prizes and then be able to set up our Energy Accelerator. And again with Celine, we can just continue to recycle our Scoop Up Cyclone and repeat the process over and over again. And my opponent will not be able to take any prizes against our Dragapult EX. One way they can get around this is if they have boss orders, target our Rotom V, and they get 2 prizes for that. Well, they have 2 cards left in their deck, but they will use Palpad to recycle or recover 2 of their Professor Sada's Vitality. And that's one of the lifeblood of their deck actually, is to accelerate those energies with Professor Sada. But they also have energy recovery. Sacrifice or discard 2 of their cards to get 4 basic energies from their discard pile into their hand. And since they are behind on prizes, they will use Counter Catcher, most likely to target our Rotom V to get 2 prizes. So once they knock out a Rotom V, that will put their prize to 3, but we will catch up soon enough by knocking out this Roaring Moon. Alright, Vengeance Fletching now dealing 240 damage. At this rate though, I don't think my opponent can keep up with our are recycling our Pokemon over and over with Scoop Up Cyclone. So I'm gonna go ahead and use Celine. Alright, we got one heads. At least we can now recover our Scoop Up Cyclone. And then we can even grab it. Very nice. And let's go ahead and get our XATU. Finally, we can set it up, right? Attach this fire energy. And, you know, I'm just going to evolve into Dragapult EX. That's fine. Let's go ahead and use Phantom Dive. Knock out their Roaring Moon. And I'm going to spread 3, 4, 5, 6 to knock out their Scream Tail, getting us 2 prizes. And then we're 2 prizes away from winning this game. So at least now that we've evolved into Dragapult EX, they won't be able to knock out our Dracloak. Alright, there it is. My opponent concedes. Good game. Alright, on to our final match. We will be going first here, and we're gonna start with a Rotom V in the active spot. Thankfully, he's in Heavy Ball. Hopefully, we get a basic. Alright, we got Dreepy. I will take that. Got 1 Dreepy from our prizes. We can also use Nest Ball to get another basic Pokemon from our deck. And I think I'll set up XATU. I'll just attach an energy to Dreepy, and I guess I could just put Temple of Sinnoh, maybe prevent my opponent from using any special energies. And I'll just end my turn with Instant Charge to draw 3. So we're all set for next turn. We got an Arven and an Iono. Maybe start attacking next turn. And my opponent has Sandy Shocks. Alright. It has the attack Magnetic Burst. For a single fighting energy, it does 20 plus damage. But if they have 3 or more energies in play, it can attack for 90 damage. Alright, very interesting. And they're gonna Pokemon Catcher our Dreepy. I think they're attempting to attack with this Sandy Shocks. Because with a Teal Mask Ogerpon EX, they can attach an energy onto it, set up another Ogerpon, and then they can attack for 90 damage, knocking out a Dreepy. But they've set out a bunch of support Pokemon. They already have Mew EX, they have Squawkabilly EX, and Radiant Greninja. I guess they need it for consistency, but with no other room for Teal Mask Ogerpon EX, I don't know how they're gonna accelerate more energies into play to power up their Raging Bolt EX. So this is a Raging Bolt EX matchup. It has the potential to knock out any of our Pokemon, but they do need to stack those energies. But thankfully, with their Iono, that actually helped us out a little bit. And thankfully, they didn't set up enough energies to power up their Pokemon, and their Sandy Shocks only deal 20 damage to our Dreepy. So we're still okay. We have XATU available to us now, so we can accelerate an energy, draw 2. And then I can even use Rare Candy, and I'll get Forest Seal Stone, grab Fire Energy, and start attacking with our Dragapult EX. We can knock out the Sandy Shocks, and then start spreading damage to possibly their Raging Bolt, because that's their main attacker. As long as we can put its HP down to 200, we can knock it out with Dragapult EX. For now, I'm just gonna get 2 Fire Energies since both of our Dragapult lineup have Psychic Energies already. So we can just evolve it next turn. And yeah, I'm just gonna attack with Phantom Dive. So with that, that's gonna knock out Sandy Shocks, and I'm gonna put all 6 of these damage counters to their Raging Bolt EX. Because Raging Bolt, if they have any HP buffs that could add HP, at least for now, it's below 200 damage or 200 HP, so we can knock it out with Dragapult EX. But with that knockout, that actually leaves room to their bench, and they're setting up another Raging Bolt EX. Definitely a scary matchup here, because if they can stack those energies, they can easily knock out our Dragapult EX. So I don't think our Scoop Up Cyclone will actually be of any help in this matchup, because if they can one-hit knock out our Dragapult EX, we won't be able to keep it from those knockouts. They're gonna retreat into their Ogerpon EX, and they're just gonna end their turn. Alright. They're just stalling a little bit because they can't set up right now. And we cannot knock out this Ogerpon because it has a pretty high HP. But we'll be able to evolve into another Dracloak. We can use Recon Directive, and I'll get Lance. That's gonna help us grab a bunch of Dragapult EX if we need to. I'll energize this, and I guess I could boss the Raging Bolt, knock it out. That's one less attacker we have to worry about. But the other one is almost ready. They just need one laying energy. But I'm just gonna weaken it, put 4 damage counters, and then put 2 to Teal Mask Ogerpon. So we got 2 prizes for that. Counter Catcher and a Fire Energy. Alright, very good. Thankfully, we have other targets that we can actually take out. Again, Swakabilly EX has low HP, Mew EX has low HP. So Dragapult EX can knock those out easy. But we've already used up 1 boss orders, we only have 1 left. Counter Catcher will not take effect if we are not behind on the prize trade. So since we've taken more prizes than our opponent, our Counter Catchers will not work. Alright, there goes Professor Sada's Vitality, accelerating 1 energy from each of 2 of their ancient type Pokemon. And yeah, with enough energies in play, they could definitely take a knockout against our Dragapult EX. Mew EX has free retreats, so they can easily retreat into their Raging Bolt. And then Bellowing Thunder deals 70 damage times the amount of energy you discard from your Pokemon, and 350 damage knocks out our Dragapult EX. Alright, so this is pretty scary. My opponent's taking 2 prizes at a time, and we need to take out 3 more of their Pokemon, or 2 more of their Pokemon actually, because we need 3 more prizes. Alright, we're still in this game for sure. I think we're way too ahead, since my opponent had a little bit of a backlog there with their setup. So I think that's what cost them. That's what might cost them this game. So for now, we're gonna evolve into Dragapult EX. We have 1 fully energized, and we can knock out this Raging Bolt. And I think I should have been focusing on their Radiant Greninja, to be honest with you, so that we can knock it out in the next turn, even if we have to just take 1 prize, right? So I'll just spread these 6 damage counters to their Radiant Greninja. I could use Alakazam to transfer those damage from Ogerpon to Greninja, and even if they present a high HP Pokemon in the active spot, we can just knock out Radiant Greninja with the damage counters. So with that, they actually put Radiant Greninja in the active spot. And they need to build up those energies once more to take a knockout against Dragapult EX. Okay, so they have 4 energies in play now, and 1 attachment, so 5 energies. I think that's enough to take a knockout. Oh, they have a switch card, and that heals Radiant Greninja by 30. So it's it's out of our knockout range now because it has 100 HP. Okay, this is a little bit of we're in trouble, guys, because if they can set up a lot of energies again, they can knock out our Dragapult next turn. But we need to set up our Dragapult. We need a Psychic Energy. We have Ultra Ball I can evolve, but I'm taking chances with Iono. I'll just grab Radiant Alakazam. Even if we transfer those energies, we can't knock out Raging Bolt. So I might need boss's orders to finish this game. But let's go ahead and use Recon Directive. Dude, we got a Psychic Energy. Yes! That's it! That's game, guys. Oh my goodness. That Recon Directive came in clutch, man. Let's use boss orders. Just target this Mew EX to end this game. Phantom Dive deals 200 damage. And I'll just spread these damage counters. And that will win us the game. Wow. Alright. Man, Dragapult EX is so awesome, guys. No wonder it's one of the best decks in the format. Good game. And that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching the Popsicleknight channel. And until next time, please stay safe and have a great day.